I ain't even gonna like say hi guys to start off this intro because I find it very awkward. So that's why I took the time to edit in a clone of myself to say hi guys.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. Do you see?
Hi guys.
I did. Welcome to my YouTube video.
Hi
Hi
guys.
guys. Hi guys.
Woo! Okay, let's start this video. Okay, I just did 10 push-ups before I start this video because I'm like I just had 4 hours of sleep. Okay, whatever, you don't care. Okay, let's just start this video. Alright, welcome to video 1, camera basics. Today I'll be talking about camera basics, which I just said. Alright, there are 3 things you must know when you step into this world of photography, right? Why does that sound like that? Stop, sound normal. Okay, shut up. Alright. So when you step into this world of photography, right, there are 3 terms you must know. First term, aperture. Second term, shutter speed. Third term is ISO. Hold on, I ran out of breath. Just did 10 push-ups so that I can wake myself up in this video. Anyways, that was so that something can appear. I hope something appear. I hope the editor did it. Alright, let's start. Before I get into each term, I would like to give you guys an analogy of why you need to know these 3 things. Alright, so think of it, these 3 things as the aperture, ISO, and shutter speed, right? As okay, let's just take aperture as a ship, right? A ship needs an ocean to sail. Ocean will be the ISO. So okay, it doesn't matter which is which. So basically, a ship needs an ocean to sail, and a ship also needs its crew member for it to set sail, right? So that everything can work, so that the ship can operate. So that's how basically aperture, shutter speed, and ISO works. They need each other so that the picture can turn out the way you want it. Without one, the picture wouldn't look as good as you want it to. That's why you need to know this 3 terms, and it's the basic foundation when you step into photography. Alright, first off is aperture. So the thing about aperture is you can look at it simply as this. Aperture is the hole inside your camera. Alright. Alright, so basically the higher the f-stop, you will see, I'll give you an example. The higher the f-stop, right, the smaller the hole becomes. So like f16, f18, all that, the smaller the hole will become. The lower the f-stop, the bigger the hole will become. Alright, Tun, so why am I using this term of hole? And what is aperture? So basically, aperture is basically this hole where light will enter, right? So the lower the aperture, the more light will enter. Higher the aperture, less light will enter. So in a way where it also matters about the focal length. So the lower the aperture, right, the focal length is more nearer. It's like more towards the subject. The angle is more towards the subject and less wide. If it's an f-stop that is like high, the focal length is quite broad, like spread out. That's why usually people like to go low f-stop for like portraits, because like they want their subjects to be in focus. So people love that f1.8, the bouquet effect where everything at the back is blurred and the subject is so sharp and clear. That's why people love the f1.8. Alright, so that's what aperture is about. Right, next off is shutter speed. Okay, what is shutter speed? Right, shutter speed is basically I will put it in logical term, it's your shutter, camera shutter. So the higher the shutter speed, the more likely you'll have a sharper image. So let's just say I'll use some images as an example. So let's just say this jumping shot of my friend, you know, I captured in high shutter speed. That is why he's in a freeze frame as he's jumping in the air. Alright, and let's just say this shot of another person, like I put it in low shutter speed. That is why his hand is like blurred, so that I can show this motion of like, or his hand is moving. That's why there's a blur right there. Usually it depends on how you want to put it. Like some people like higher shutter speed. Like for me, I prefer higher shutter speed so that my subjects can be in sharp, and like it's not blur. but some people like the blur because to add in motion and like action. So shutter speed is so high. Shutter speed like 1/250 usually will like sharpen the image and put the subject in still. Alright, there wouldn't be motion blur. But if it's lower shutter speed, there'll be motion blur because the shutter will be slower, so there'll be a blur. Alright, so that's what shutter speed is about. Last but not least, I'm gonna talk about ISO. Alright, so what is ISO? Alright, so ISO in simple terms, right, it means the extra light inside your camera, that's inside your camera. Because sometimes when you do night photography, right, or like indoor, so when you're indoor, sometimes light isn't there isn't much light, so you need to compensate it with the ISO. You need to pump up the ISO like 1000 or something. But usually the thing about pumping up ISO is doesn't mean you have a higher ISO, doesn't mean your picture turns out better. Alright, that's not the case for you beginners out there. Okay, so usually people want as low of an ISO as possible, but it depends on the photographer, of course. But usually the lower the ISO is more preferred, because what happens is when you have high ISO, right, it'll become more noisier, and when you have a low ISO, it'll become more softer. The image become more softer, right? So higher ISO equal more noise, lower ISO equal less noise. So that's what ISO does to your image. Alright, so usually some cameras, like the high-end cameras, can actually like handle this ISO, high ISO like 12,800, but some cameras, the low tier ones, cannot handle a high ISO. That's why the image become very noisy. Alright, so yeah, that's it about ISO. Right, that concludes today's video. So today, in summary, I taught you guys what is aperture, what is shutter speed, what is ISO. Alright, go out, take more pictures, go experiment with this tree. Alright, pro tip, just start out with aperture priority and shutter priority, then move into manual. But of course, I ain't stopping you if you want to move into manual directly. But yeah, just take more pictures, experiment with this tree, and yeah, have fun with photography, guys. Alright, bye.